Today presents Strike Battleship Argent, Book 1 in the Starships at War series, by Shane Lachlan Black. Copyright 2016.
Hey, science fiction and fantasy fans, Shane Lachlan Black here, reminding you that all of my serialized fiction and all of my serialized audiobooks are available on my site, brought to you ad-free by the Action Faction. We're also supporting literacy. Every time we hit a milestone, we send another book to a school. Plus, you can get your own call sign and get producer credit in videos just like this one when you sponsor us. All ahead, battle speed.
Permission to jam the channel. Blast it, walls, full power astern. A painfully bright weapons impact overturned the conference table and all the chairs at once just before the lights flickered, then went dark. Chapter 24. Ensign Walls cursed through gritted teeth. He meant to secure himself at the con, but he was doing his best to help the other crew members maintain contact with the elusive sensor readings at the edge of Gitairn Sector 10. The weapons impact threw him at least 12 feet. He landed flat with a painful grunt and all the air was driven from his lungs. The officer of the watch reached way down and somehow found the strength to keep from passing out. His hearing cleared gradually, and the reddish glow of the battle alert had replaced the soothing lights of the spacious Argent Bridge with a storm of sound and urgency. He climbed to his feet with the help of the center chair. Emergency power to forward battle screens. Stand by your main batteries. At his command, power surged from the battleship's sprawling reactor assembly like adrenaline through a leviathan's heartbeat. The forward screens magnified their power output. The glow obscured the unrepaired damage from the previous missile attack. Helm, reverse your turn. Course 165, Mark 10. Tactical, energize starboard armor. Energize railcasters 3 and 4. Stand by for a firing solution. A girl barely old enough to legally sign her own name piped up from the tactical console. Enemy contact Kilo X-ray 2, now tracking starboard, bearing 335, range 0.4. CIC and Battlecomp report a bearings match and waveform lock. Walls turned to the forward display with a feral glare. Snapshot casters 1 and 2. Echelon second battery and overlay main power cycle for a full barrage. Argent continued her reversing maneuver. Her main batteries came to life and turned gradually to engage the enemy starship like the heads of gargantuan mythical serpents. The searing fury that followed would have bleached the Gitairn star had it still existed. 40-foot-wide lances of incredible disruptive energy exploded into the distance. Just over a second later, both speared the darkness just aft of another enemy cruiser, on for range but wide right. The enemy ship immediately returned fire. The Argent Bridge heaved with the force of multi-megaton explosions against her forward battle screens. Space beyond the vessel's leading edge burned with uncontainable white-hot energy for a few moments. Then all that was visible were after images of the secondary disruptions. Snapshot 3. Another angry beam flashed through space. Another clean miss. This time on for deflection but high. The shot burned just over the cruiser's bridge. The smaller vessel began to veer off and fired again, this time with all 4 of its considerably smaller energy batteries. Again Argent bucked. Impact patterns rolled across her nose and began to bleed across to her starboard edge.
Shane Lachlan Black here. I built a bookstore on a site called getabook.today. It's where I make our work available to readers like yourself. This is our catalog. All these books are real. 81 titles, 18 collections, 2 million words. All the covers were produced by my studio. All the books are human authored by me. Getabook.today does all the things other bookstores do. Here's how it works. You will find the sections of the store in the menu. Getabook.today works on both mobile and PC. Find a book you like and click or tap to get to the book page. Some books have trailers and audio samples. Some have editorial and reviews. Some have sample chapters. Click or tap to enjoy the sample and use the button to return to the bookstore. When you've found a book you like, click or tap the Secure Buy button to go to our payment processor. We have industry-standard secure ordering and a 7-day money-back guarantee on digital purchases. We ship paperbacks and hardcovers in the U.S. and internationally. You complete your purchase by clicking or tapping the Pay button. The store will process your order, and you'll get an email that looks like this. If it's a digital purchase, quicker tap the download button, and the book is yours. Ebooks arrive in EPUB format. Audiobooks are in MP3s. Collections arrive in zip archives. There is no DRM, no logins, no format hassles, and your books won't disappear someday. You can install them on all your devices, phones, tablets, e-readers, PCs, or televisions. Our books are compatible with all devices. Our print titles are premium quality, and each one is signed by me. When you make a purchase from our store, you are directly supporting artists and an author. This is how we fund new stories, and the values our characters stand for: honor, friendship, courage, and teamwork. The best way you can show your support is to buy our books and our official merchandise from getabook.today, the home of Lady Star, the Iron Jammers, the Starships Universe, and Kings and Conquest. All ahead, battle speed.
The bridge crew held tightly to their shock harnesses as they were blasted back and then thrown forward by the inertial compensators. Magnification lock. Waveform now 15% over amplitude. Overlay auxiliary power cycle and stand by to echelon casters 5 and 6. Report reloads on casters 1 and 2. Walls was barely in his chair. His posture suggested a man about to start a foot race from a seated position. Casters 1 and 2 charging, ready to fire in 12 seconds. Snapshot 4. Argent's Railcaster 4 glowed menacingly. The energy increased until the light from inside its 200-foot magnetically energized chamber grew to blazing intensity in less than a second. Another colossal beam of disruptive energy sliced into the distance and slammed into the portside engine section of the enemy cruiser. The smaller ship's shields screamed against the power overloads, flickered weakly, and then collapsed. The vessel drifted to starboard and began to yaw into her turn. Got him, sir. Direct hit aft. Battlecomp reports enemy vessel's portside shields have collapsed. Walls crushed an imaginary object in his fist and rose from the center chair. Hold that range and deflection. Snapshot 5. Argent's fifth shot pulverized the cruiser's armor amidships. Secondary explosions shook the vessel's interior, and flashes of fire became visible through the seams being blown in her hull. She doggedly returned fire. This time, 2 of her beams skipped high, while the other 2 crashed into Argent's starboard battle screen. Arcing electrical energy snaked across the mighty ship's defenses, but once again the screens held. There was a glimpse of victory. Then a bone-chilling flash obscured Barker's asteroid momentarily. Argent's bridge crew had only seconds for realization to dawn, the time it took for the hammer of the gods to traverse just over 1,000,000 miles and slam into Argent's forward screens. It was as if the entire ship had been thrown against the ground. One moment, Ensign Walls was preparing for the first mission kill of his career, and the next he was yanked off his feet and launched across Argent's bridge. Someone was shouting into a comlink. Emergency medical team to the bridge. Watch officer has been injured. Suddenly, all of the intra-ship channels had come to life. Voices began overlapping and shouting, trying to be heard. The bridge crew hesitated, unsure what to do in the absence of a commanding voice. The girl at tactical shouted over the din. Lieutenant, Ensign Walls is hurt. You have to take command. Negative. Get on the MC and raise the captain or the XO. McInerney fought her controls, trying to keep the gigantic ship on her bearings. Lieutenant. McInerney whirled, her eyes afire. As you were, petty officer. It's against regulations for a pilot to assume command even in an emergency. Now follow my order. Get on the MC and get a command officer up here now. The girl at tactical looked frightened, but she followed the pilot's order. Captain or XO to the bridge. Captain or XO to the bridge. Emergency. Her voice trailed off, as if she weren't quite sure what to say next. 2 other bridge crew members had unhooked their shock harnesses and went to Ensign Walls' side. He was still unconscious. His face was bruised, and at least one large gash was visible down the side of his face. Another impact from the cruiser's guns shook the bridge, knocking the 2 unsecured crew members against the backs of their chairs. A voice came over the engineering channel. We're losing the starboard generators. Something's got to be done about that ship out there, or we're going to be down and vulnerable on our right edge. Commander Honora Doverly rushed through the Deck 1 access hatch right behind the emergency medical team. The group of medics went to Walls while Doverly took the center chair. Report. We have 2 enemy targets, ma'am. Kilo X-Ray 2 is on the board and bearing 341 at a range of 0.5. We've also been engaged by a ground emplacement on Barker's asteroid. CIC can't provide us with any targeting information on the big gun. Got to hand it to Walls, Honora said. He would have made a fine pirate if he were given enough cannon. Doverly to Skywatch, patch me through to CSW. Affirmative, Commander. You're on. Hatch? Standing by, ma'am. Report status of Alert Space Patrol Gitairn 10. Archangel 0 on station and awaiting orders, ma'am. Synchronize CIC and patch confirm orders from Force Commander. Vector 341 and engage Kilo X-Ray 2. Your signal is Tango. Alpha 0 is weapons free. Sync the target. Hatch almost snarled his reply. Yes, ma'am.
The rest of the story is only one keyword away. Visit jumpline.click in your browser. New keywords are activated every day. Get access to our entire catalog of science fiction, fantasy, and gamelit.